Hello everyone. I hope you're doing well amid this COVID unrest. This is the part second video lecture of the chapter Health and Hygiene. In the previous lecture, in the previous video, we discussed about the definition of disease, health, the different types of diseases, whether they are congenital, whether they are acquired, or whether they are communicable or non-communicable, and what conditions to fit in all those types of diseases. Right? In this video lecture, we are going to cover up the remaining portion of the health and hygiene, which includes the nutrition deficiency diseases, organ malfunctions, and the different kinds of the organ malfunctions that happen to prevail in the humans. Okay, so let's start with the nutritional deficiency diseases. Okay, in the previous lecture, I also gave you a slight idea about the nutritional deficiency diseases. These diseases happen to born from the deficiency of any particular nutrient in our diet. Like we have been taught so far that vitamins and minerals are necessary for our good health. They give us protection against the diseases, right? For example, vitamin A is essential for the proper functioning of our eyes, and its deficiency may cause night blindness. Vitamin B deficiency may cause beriberi. Vitamin C, which is essential for the health of our teeth, its deficiency may cause scurvy. Vitamin D deficiency may cause osteomalacia and rickets. Vitamin E is essential for the normal functioning of our sexual organs. So its deficiency is going to affect the functioning of the sexual organs. Right? Similarly, the minerals like calcium and phosphorus are essential for the proper functioning of our bones. They maintain the proper structure of the bones and their function, calcium and phosphorus, right? There are other nutritional deficiencies, like if there happens to be a nutrition deficiency in terms of protein and carbohydrate deficiency in the infants. Even there is protein and carbohydrate deficiency in the infants, it may cause the two diseases, either kwashiorkor and marasmus. So kwashiorkor and marasmus are basically the protein carbohydrate deficiency diseases, right? In an infant means newly born or 2 to 3 years old. Okay, so if there is a deficiency of carbohydrate or proteins in the infants, the infant may suffer from these two diseases, that is kwashiorkor and marasmus. And what are the symptoms of the kwashiorkor and marasmus? A child is, his or her ribs will be prominent, the eyes will be bulging and protruding out. There will be mental retardation, physical retardation. So these are some of the symptoms of the kwashiorkor and marasmus. And kwashiorkor and marasmus are the protein and carbohydrate deficiency diseases, and they can be corrected by giving a proper meal to the infants, which contain adequate amount of carbohydrate and proteins. Okay, now coming to the next part is the organ malfunctions. As I have told you, all the organ malfunctions, I mean, majority of them are congenital diseases. Some people are born, they didn't develop them, okay, but they were born with these diseases. Those diseases are called as congenital diseases. All the congenital diseases fall under the category of organ malfunctions. However, all the organ malfunctions are not the congenital diseases. We'll study it. For example, the disease like bites and stings, okay, this allergy, these are not congenital, but they come under the category of organ malfunctions. Let's see how. The first disease is the diabetes mellitus. What is diabetes mellitus? Diabetes mellitus is the disease found in a person wherein the glucose levels are greater than the normal range. The glucose levels in the blood are normal than the glucose levels in the blood are more than the normal level. Why so? We see there is an organ in our body which we call as pancreas, and pancreas secretes the hormone insulin, and the job of the insulin is to convert the extra glucose into glycogen, and that extra glycogen is stored in the liver cells. Understand? The pancreas secretes a hormone called insulin, which converts extra glucose in our blood, into glycogen, which is stored in the liver cells. Right? I mean, whenever we eat food, whenever we eat any food, it is ultimately broken down into glucose molecules, and those glucose molecules are used as an energy source. Okay, but all of the glucose molecules are not used as the energy source. Like for example, if I am doing some work, I may need only 100 calories, but the food I ate gave me 200 calories. What happens to those 100 calories that were left? Okay, those 100 calories of the glucose will be converted by the insulin into glycogen. Okay, they will be stored in the liver cells, and in future when there is an energy need, okay, those liver cells will liberate that glycogen molecules. There's another hormone, okay, we'll not discuss that, but temporarily the extra glucose is stored as glycogen in the liver cells. But what happens with the diabetes malicious patients? These people do not produce the hormone insulin, or even if they produce, it's produced in very minimal amount. As a result, the extra glucose cannot be converted into glycogen. So what happens? This extra glucose stays in the blood. This extra glucose stays in the blood. So diabetes mellitus is a condition wherein there are larger quantities of glucose in the blood, but this glucose is not available to the tissues for the energy use. Okay, so this condition is called as diabetes mellitus. And the symptoms of the diabetes mellitus are hot rashes. The person needs to urinate very frequently, loss of appetite, loss of body weight. Okay, and this diabetes mellitus can be prevented by maintaining a healthy lifestyle, like at least 30 days of physical work every day, a good diet. Okay, a good diet, a good sleep. These are some of the steps that one can take to prevent oneself from the diabetes mellitus. Okay. And number second organ malfunction are the heart diseases. Heart diseases may be coronary heart diseases, or it may be heart attack. Both of these result due to the either due to the lack of oxygen to any specific part of the heart, or lack of blood supply because of the congestion of the coronary arteries due to the deposition of fat or atherosclerosis. As a result, some heart muscles do not get the oxygen or do not get the blood. As a result, a person may suffer from coronary heart diseases or heart attack. And number third is the renal diseases. Renal is a word which is used for the kidney. What is the job of the kidneys? The job of the kidneys is to filtrate the blood. While filtering the blood, they are removing the wastes from our body in the form of ammonia, in the form of urea, uric acid, right? So these wastes are removed from our blood when kidneys are filtering the blood. Okay, but if there happens to be any disease, or one or any of the two kidneys is malfunctioning, or both the kidneys are malfunctioning, those wastes tend to remain within our body, which may prove toxic or fatal to a human being. Okay, so in those conditions, when a person's kidneys are not working properly or efficiently, we suggest a process called a dialysis. Dialysis is the artificial filtration of the blood. It is done by a machine which is called a dialyzer. Okay, and the other kinds of diseases are the arthritis. Arthritis is a disease related to the bones, due to the it may be due to the lack of calcium and phosphorus in the diet, or it may be a congenital disease as well. It may be with a person since its birth. However, there are two kinds of arthritis. One is the rheumatoid arthritis, and other is the osteoarthritis. In both the conditions, there is a swelling of joints, swelling of the joints at the midpoints, twisting of the bones. Okay, and the other kind of organ malfunctions, this disease is the cancer. What is cancer? Cancer is actually a term used for a group of uncontrolled cell dividing cells. Is a term used for uncontrolled cell division. Like when you will go to higher classes, you will study that in the cell cycle, a cell undergoes through different stages. It goes through G1 stage, S stage, G2 stage, then happens the mitosis, and the cycle keeps on continuing. Okay, and in those in their cycle there are many checkpoints which regulate the cell division. However, in the cancerous cells, those checkpoints are not working efficiently. As a result, the cell keeps on dividing without any regulation. Whether the cell division is correct or incorrect, it does not matter. It keeps on dividing. So, a group of cells which are dividing unregulated are called as cancerous cells, and the disease is called as cancer. And the cancers are named with respect to the organ that is affected. Suppose there are cervical cancers, there are mouth cancers, there are throat cancers, there are cancers in any part of the body is named after the body organ. Okay? And then there is allergy. Allergy is the hypersensitivity of the human body towards any foreign object. It could be pollen allergy, it could be dust allergy, right? It could be smoke allergy. Whenever any foreign object enters our body through the air, through the food or water, our body shows the hypersensitivity towards it. Suppose in the month of April or May, when we will see the flowers are blooming, there are so many pollen in the air, and we tend to inhale them through the nostrils. As a result, we often have heard the name of pollen allergy. Pollen allergy is actually the hypersensitivity of the human body towards the pollen, and we think that we are suffering from the common cold, but it's not the common cold actually. It is the pollen allergy. Okay. And thereafter is the bites and stings. Bites from the say insects or snakes or stings from the bees, etc. They also tend to produce a response from the human body, and which may prove fatal sometimes. Suppose a bite by a snake which contains venom. Snakes contain venom in their bites. Okay, and that venom may affect our circulatory or nervous system, and may prove detrimental to a human being, and he may die because of the snake bites. However, the stings from the bees, although they are not that detrimental, but still they create pain in the human body. Okay, and at last is the fever. Fever actually is not a disease. Fever is only the response of the human body towards any foreign object. We often say that we are suffering from a fever. No, fever is not a disease. Fever is a response. Suppose we happen to have fever, develop fever even with a mild headache, even with the common cold, even when we fall sometimes on the ground or we hit our knee or elbow or anything, we tend to develop fever. So fever is not a disease. It's only a response of the human body towards any foreign object. Understand? So this is all about this chapter. Thank you for watching me.